And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
King of Tokyo is now 5 years old, which is amazing to me. You might be watching this saying, I never heard of King of Tokyo. And here I am talking about the King of Tokyo 2nd edition. Well, first of all, no need to worry. I'm going to pretend in this video that you've never played King of Tokyo before, which is maybe a good thing because it's a fantastic game, a wonderful game. If you already have King of Tokyo 1st edition, I'll tell you real quickly that this only changes basically cosmetic stuff, and I'll be talking about the exact changes in another video. But in this video, I'm just going to tell you how great this game is because this is one of my favorite games. Let's get into it. I've always wanted to be a giant monster smashing a city apart. I'm sure you have too, or at least to play one in the game. Let's take a look at these pieces. Now in King of Tokyo, each player is going to be taking a monster. You can take Mega Dragon, you can take the King, he's my personal favorite, Cyber Kitty, Alienoid, Space Penguin, or Gigazar. Now, when you take one of these, you're also going to take the matching pieces. There's these giant pieces, and you're going to put them in front of yourselves. There's going to be a board on the table that has one space, Tokyo City. Actually, it has two spaces, but Tokyo Bay is only used in a 5 or 6 player game. Now, what you're going to do in this game is, on your turn, you are going to take 6 dice. So you're going to take these 6 black dice. On these dice, there is a side 1, 2, 3. There is an attack claw, there's a heart, and there's an energy symbol. So you roll these dice in your turn, and you decide which dice you want to keep. So maybe I want to keep the 2 ones, and I can re-roll. You don't have to keep anything. I'll keep that third one, and I'll roll again. And there we go. That's my final roll. And that's how you play each turn. Now, the numbers are important because they give you points. At the beginning of the game, everyone is going to get these cards, and everyone is exactly the same, essentially. You start with 0 points, and you start with 10 life. If I roll 3 ones, I will get 1 point. If I roll 3 twos, I get 2 points, and if I roll 3 threes, I get 3 points. So obviously, threes are better. If you roll more than 3 of a number, you get 1 extra point for each number you roll. So let's say I rolled 4 ones, I'd get 1, 2. Another 1, 3, another 1, 4. While on the other side, if you roll 3 threes, you'll get 3 points. A 4th 3 is simply an extra point. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6. And getting 20 points will win you the game, so points is a good thing to try for. If you roll health, you will heal points, but only if you are outside, in front of the player, not in Tokyo City or Tokyo Bay. You can never go above 10, at least not normally, but if you've ever taken wounds, rolling hearts outside can heal you. And if you roll claws, you will attack other players. For each claw that you roll, you will attack one person, and you will attack every player who's not in the same area as you. So if Kong is in Tokyo City and Gigazar rolls 3 claws, Kong will take 3 damage. If Kong rolls 3 claws and Gigazar and Space Penguin and the Alienoid are all outside the city, they will all take 3 damage. So if you hit the people who are not in the same area as you. Then, for each energy that you roll, you will simply take an energy cube. These clear green style cubes. After you have done all this, if Tokyo City is empty, you move into it. And if you're playing with 5 or 6 players, if Tokyo Bay is empty, you move into it. Now, once you're in it, you can stay there as long as you want. And if at the beginning of your turn, you are in this area, you will get 2 points. So staying in Tokyo can get you points. And if you go into Tokyo, when you move in there, you get 1 point. Now, when someone else hits you, because if you realize, if you're in Tokyo, every person on the outside is going to be hitting you. So it's a dangerous place to stay. Whenever you take a hit and you're in Tokyo, you are allowed to leave, which means the person who hit you is going to move in and take your spot. And remember, every time you move in, you get a victory point. But if you can stay there, you can get victory points, and you can also hit everyone else outside. There's also cards over here on the side of the board. These cards have things like a spiked tail, which gives you, this says keep. It's a special ability. If you roll at least 1 hand or 1 claw, you get an extra claw. Extra head, you get an extra die. The game actually comes with an extra die to work with this card. This one here, if you roll 1, 2, 3, heart, claw, and thing, and basically a straight, you get 9 points, which is a pretty cool deal. Here's one that says anytime you can spend 2 energy to gain a heart. Here's one, you gain 1 point for every 6 energy that you have at the end of your turn. And you'll notice that all these cards here say keep, but not every card is going to say keep. Some you just take right away and do something with. For example, you pay 3 energy and you get 2 health. Or you pay 8 energy to get 9 energy. Or here, you pay 6 energy to get 2 points, and all other monsters lose 1 energy for every 2 that they have. So there's these cards here that are available to buy, and you pay that much to buy the card. The cost is up at the top. You're also allowed to pay to wipe all 3 cards that are there to get new ones and see what the cards are. And these cards, like I said, do all sorts of things and will help differentiate your monsters from the other monsters. So that's basically it. If you're the first person to 20 points, you win the game. If you knock the other monsters down to 0, they're out of the game. And if you knock every other monster out of the game, you also win the game. So either one of those victory conditions wins you the game. King of Tokyo is one of the most successful games I have ever run. I have played this many times. I have seen it taught many times. If I have people, I can say, hey, play this. A lot of people will understand the basic concepts of it because it's like Yahtzee, right? You roll some dice, you then get to re-roll them, but you can just play kind of like, hey, I'm going to get some points. Ooh, I got 3 points, I got 2 points, I got 4 points. And that's all well and good, but you can also be like, let's fight. And sometimes you gotta fight, right? You might be rolling for points and you'll get 4 threes, that's 4 points, and then you roll 2 claws. Which means you hit someone for 2, and now they jump out of Tokyo. You gotta get in there and you gotta stand your ground. Now, you can still play pretty passively in this game. You can still essentially say, I'm just going to try to get points, I'm going to save up my energy, and buy cards that give me more ways to get points. Or you can say, I'm going to try to take everybody else out. Now, that taking other people out can be a negative thing for some people, because you'll say, oh, there's player elimination. I get knocked out of a game, it's not fun. But in King of Tokyo, when you're knocked out, the game doesn't last much longer. The games take like 30 minutes at most, and if you're knocked out early, well, it's probably your own fault, because you'd like say, I'm going to stay in King of Tokyo and see how long it lasts. As I did in my very first game one time, and lasted for about 45 seconds. But at the same time, usually you're taken out, there's 5-10 minutes left in the game, and it's all laughter and fun. Most of the time in the games I've seen, someone wins by points. But you can win by taking everybody out, even in a 5 or 6 player game, where it can be more difficult. And when you do so, it's so satisfying. To me, I say, points are for wimps. We're going to go and take everybody else out. But a point victory is certainly fine. The artwork is great. The monsters are funny and silly, so there's not like this. I mean, I guess if a giant ape was terrorizing the city, we might all be scared. But the apes aren't so much about eating and smashing up human stuff as they are about fighting each other. The theme is hilarious. There are expansions which will give the monsters special powers, but even in this basic, simple game here, where you just get to roll dice and see what happens and fight the other monsters, you will find that this game just seems to have legs, and you can play it over and over and over again. It has worked in situations with kids, with teenagers, with mixed, with young and old, with adults, with heavy strategy gamers. This is one of those games that I think should be in everyone's collection. It is one of the best games ever designed by the same guy who did Magic the Gathering. But this one's a whole lot simpler and a lot of fun. That's King of Tokyo. Get it! Dice Tower Judgment into my collection.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Kaya Khadrus.